Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 9th of May. So, what we've got in store today, firstly, the key thing that we've got is the Bank of England, if only I could say it, rate statement and comments, etc. There's no expectation of a cut or hikes priced in at the moment. Most likely scenario is unchanged, which is pretty much full on at the moment. It's really, there is a press conference at 12:30, so it's whatever happens at 12 and any statements that are released there is released. It's really 12:30. We might get to see a little bit more, but that's about it. This afternoon, after that, or later in the afternoon, normal content. We've got a couple of then Bank of England speakers flicking through there. Fed Daily speaking later, much later, and New Zealand manufacturing PMI much later. So not a great deal again. Nothing US based, which is good, he says. Why is it good? Well, it leaves us hopefully in a trending position as opposed to where we've been of switching backwards and forwards lately. Talking of trends, looking at euro dollar then starting off with, and it's continuing in this mild downward trend, and I say mild because it barely moved yesterday. It sat for most of the we've been sitting on its weekly pivot here. Looks like maybe it's breaking down now, but it's been pretty slow. Come down to the 60-minute. You can just see yesterday's chop. It pulled up for a little while and just looks like it could be off for some further downside. It is very, very slow though. Just not really. There's not a lot to drive it at the moment, I guess. The pound is a little bit more drivable, but for how long? It's coming off again. I've just adjusted a stop on this morning, and it's most likely, I said yesterday, I'll exit my short position. Before the news. I don't particularly want to take the risk of whatever comes out of that news. They're just too varied. 1 minute it's a bit on the hawkish side, next minute it's a bit on the dovish side, and I just don't want to risk the money that sits there. It's sitting in the money, so I'll take what's there nearer the time most likely, unless if it gets run down to this S1, that might be the play out there. So see what happens. But at the moment, running down southbound, there isn't a new entry into the trade. It's really ugly yesterday. I must admit, it looked at one stage that I was going to give it all back, and well, I've just brought the stops down to the highs now. US dollar yen. Sometimes it's just protecting what you've got a little bit, particularly in these markets we've had. US dollar yen continue to push up here. Nice trend. It's slow, and look at this here. I mean, when you come down to the hourlies, and it's barely moving. It's starting to pitch a little bit at the moment, pre 8 o'clock. Not necessarily the best and most obvious volume that we see at this stage, but it's certainly pushing to the upside at the moment. We're just seeing that stronger dollar, but there we go. There's no entries on that for me at this stage. The Aussie is more likely to yield something, I think, possibly. It's continuing this downward trend here, this reaction to the highs. It's got this this pattern arising here, this flaggy sort of pattern that's kicking in here. Bring it down to the 4 hourlies. Well, actually, it's better off. It's better off the 4 hourlies, and I'm just looking at a breakdown of the 4 hourly 50. If it starts coming through that again, it's tested it once, it did catch a bounce, then spent most of the time there, not really doing too much. But if we can get a breakdown of that, then that might roll over for a few more days. We'll see. But it's more of a swing. US dollar CAD. This 2 is pushing up at the moment a bit. Yeah, I mean, I've got one eye on the downside here as well, so it's a bit of a mixed old bag. But it is at the moment in that sort of early trend stage, so maybe a go with there. New Zealand dollar, not quite really as set up as the Aussie. It's a bit more messy, but it is still running and looking like it could be running over more. The Aussie's just that little bit more, got that bit more movement in it, but New Zealand dollar could be rolling as well. Dollar Swissy, weird old price action going on here. It's just really consolidating, and for me there's just not enough volatility in it to be doing anything with that. So there's the majors. So there as I say, the Aussie, maybe New Zealand dollar, but the Aussie probably looks the better of them at the moment. Let's just have a quick look at the indices and gold. No, say indices, but let's have a look at gold. Gold yesterday, you see how the daily ranges are tightening up. We're getting these little tiny bars here, and you see the consolidation really well on the 4 hourlies here. Now when something winds up like this, at some stage it's going to go, most likely, and we're going to get a decent move, but it's knowing when it's going to go and knowing which direction it's more likely to go in. This is a complete mess yesterday, all over the shop there, and I would stay out of this until it really does show a trend. At the moment it's not really showing too much at all. Oil, we did see a nice bounce off the yearly pivot there, or just not short of the yearly pivot. It's actually on the quarterly there yesterday, so it did come off there until about mid-morning there, 10 o'clock-ish bar gave us the reversal, and then the rest was going against trend here. We did get our 2 o'clock sort of kicker, and it pushed up, but against trend. So we'll see what happens. If it sets back up again, it's not reliable enough in the mornings. Anyway, for me, there you go. Looking at the S&Ps, really struggling up here. We come down, you just see no real movement, and it's killed it, hasn't it? And it's sort of rolling back slowly. After that sort of movement, it's run out of momentum. Again, though, it's consolidating. It is consolidating near a high, so we would normally expect when it's doing that, any break towards the upside would be a bit more significant, but just run out of gas. Nasdaq, a similar picture on the dailies here, and also with the Dow slightly better yesterday, moving up there. The DAX again, it's run back in. I mentioned the previous highs there. It's not far off its previous highs there, reacting a bit on the downside at the moment. Maybe still got some, it's again consolidating around its highs. Maybe it's still got something in there. We'll see what it does. Post 8 o'clock here this morning, might pop back up, reverse and pop back up. That's the way, the general trend. I wouldn't be trying to short these markets at the moment. And the FTSE finally. Well, the FTSE's still going up, still got that gap underneath. If it does ever come back downwards, well, it will at some stage, obviously, but at the moment it has been running up quite nicely. From a 60-minute look in the intraday at the moment, again, a bit like the DAX, coming off a little bit at the moment. Let's just see what happens as the morning moves on here. Of course, this could be affected by interest rate statements, etc. later. But for now, coming off a little bit. Anything dovish in terms of the interest rate statements could see the FTSE take off later, and it may be that traders just stay away until that time. Right, okay, I'm going to leave it there. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow. As I say, just to summarise then, maybe the Aussie dollar seems to be or have some potential needs to move, but let's see if we can get a bit more potential out of this post 8 o'clock. Take care, have a good day.